It's me. It's been a long time. StreamYard has changed. So I wasn't sure what I was doing. Uh, it is I, Billy. Who am I? Oh yeah, I am not an AI. Yeah, for a little catch up. First night in 12 plus years I've had to my lonesome. So went out for a little treat to myself, and then I decided to spend it with you guys. So isn't that nice? Have a little catch up and try and squeeze in some topics or just tidbits. We have GM, we have Bandit, we have Cam Dog. So thank you for being here. And it's short notice. It's a little impromptu, impulsive. So I don't expect there to be a flood, a horde of subjects coming this way. We can have a mellow, tranquil, and ease into just touching base, seeing how everyone is, and maybe you're intrigued as to where I've been, or hiding away in my castle and in the Himalayas or whatnot. Things here are knuckling down and just getting on with life in general, I suppose. I mean, what you want to hear, like drama, the drama karma. There isn't really. The thing about the drama is it only really pertains to. It's subjective. I mean, you don't really care about other people's drama, not unless you want to insert yourself into it. And half the time you're kind of jumping in the middle of a swarm, and it's hard to get your bearings. What the hell is all this? And it just becomes too much and off-putting. So if you get into that habit of just being like, I don't want to have to deal with trying to figure out what's going on here, you can kind of steer away from drama. But the idea of drama karma kind of frames karma. It sort of has an associative quality to it. It's like those who speak about karma make an inference towards there being some sort of drama that needs to be resolved. Because if there was no this is going to be a tongue twister. If there was no drama in the karma, then you've just got things happening. You do stuff happens. Yeah, you wouldn't call it karma. You would just say it's consequences of what I would normally jump to as a word, but you just say it's just how it is. So already a little bit of looking at how the kind of wording that people might use if they're speaking about karma. You could probably guess that it has some relation to there being some sort of drama involved. And like I was saying, if it's just like, I can't be bothered with that, being exhausted by it isn't a bad thing. It therefore creates a much more simpler life, and keeps you out of trouble, I suppose. Because if we look at drama in a bit more depth, unfortunately, as human creatures, we are a little bit prone to being interested in drama. It has a kind of it has an attraction towards it, because because it's out of the ordinary, the mundane of reality. Then along comes drama. It's something um, your 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 senses pick up on as a, ooh, this might be interesting, and if this is interesting, it might be important. Maybe we need to know about this drama. Does it affect us in any way? So it's all well and good saying that, you steer away from drama, but unfortunately it's all around you, and you're exposed to it, and you will, it kind of lands on your desk sort of thing, so you will encounter it. Is whether or not you you go with it. You kind of, if we're talking like being baited, you take the bait, you're on the hook, now you're invested into the drama. So it's important to recognize when something, so there's a distinction that needs to be made here then, where is it really worth your while to actually delve into what is being presented toward in front of you, or what you've encountered, or is it not really, trivial? Is it insignificant? It affects you not, and you can move on and not bother with it. But then, so this assessing the drama itself as a feature. Someone tells you some news. Oh, did you know? Oh, by the way, I'll give you an example. So recently, collecting the kid from school, I could smell something burning, and as we're traveling home, police are driving past, fire engines are driving past. Turns out there was a block of flats on fire nearby. So that explains what the burning smell was. Now, do you let it go at that? Or do you delve in deeper and be like, ooh, I wonder what was burning. Did anyone get injured? Was it anyone I know? Where exactly was this fire? Are there any pictures? And you can see how you're now getting sensationalized into, I need to know, I want to know, I need to more details. And then it becomes sort of like gossip, and or you tell the other parents or whoever. So, or here I am telling you guys right now about some drama, and some of you be like, "Ah, this is boring." So you can see how gossip is a kind of cousin to drama. And now on social media, in these kind of spaces, when people say drama, we're usually referring to kind of zany, emotional, hysterical, or hysteria, like wacky dacky kind of, like Looney Tunes sort of drama. But as I'm trying to illustrate here, it doesn't have to necessarily be insane in the membrane. It can be little things, and maybe there's no harm, no foul. It's just jibber jabber, It can be small talk. It could be used if you're trying to create, relate like with a common mutual ground with other people. In my case, with this sort of example, maybe chit chat with some of the parents. It's like an icebreaker. It's like, hey, did you get caught in the traffic on the way home yesterday, kind of thing. They'd be like, yeah, there was madness. The sky was ablaze, or whatever it was. So we've got to what degree on the scale, on the spectrum of drama, from like mediocre stuff to maybe a bit of controversy, to more extreme, extravagant. You get it. You get the idea. And culturally speaking, like how I said, we don't know straight away whether or not something is trivial drama until we've actually gone through some sort of processing. And thankfully or not, I don't know if you want to say thankfully, but culturally speaking, we have been raised to um, to uh, assess, like if you think of TV and movies, television, soap operas, you know, they're everywhere. They've been around for since the dinosaurs or whatever. Um, so culturally speaking, we've accommodated this phenomena that we call drama, and it it can also, because if we're talking about like television, hearing something besides yourself, you know, something that has nothing to do with you, not necessarily or whatever, it can be like escapism. You know, it gives you a break from your reality. So there can be not necessarily like a relief, but just um, a day visit, not day visit, but I mean like a little trip to the zoo. You know, like a little outing into the land of ooh, what's going on here then kind of thing. So basically, I'm saying it's a break from. It can be a serve as a break from reality, from the boring rigors of, you know, of normal life. It can inject a bit of excitement into your otherwise dull day, your dull, meager existence on this pitiful planet. So there can be, it doesn't necessarily have to always be like, oh, you like drama, ugh, what's wrong with you? There can be, you could look at it as there are beneficial things about being interested in drama. It helps to exercise some imagination, think it outside of yourself, and you know, assessing what's happening around you, like having your touching base, like the, you know, not necessarily touch, but having your ear to the ground. You know, you know what's up, what's happening in your environment. So it can have other benefits than just the gossiping side of things. Because you know, like with the TV and all this, you might not necessarily think it relates to you directly in the here and now, but you learn these sort of stories, these scenarios. You hear about these situations. You start, like with this fire. You start to imagine what would I do if there was a fire? If I was caught in this fire, would I escape? Could I escape? Would I be harmed? How would I? You know. So you start to role play. You start to envision, um, and so it becomes a little bit like a thought exercise. I was going to say a thought experiment, but a thought exercise. So that there can be a little bit of pragmatism behind it, you know. But again, to what extent you need to have a bit of awareness. Hey there, pooping while standing. Good to see you. Have to have some awareness that, you know, when you get too deep into the drama, where it becomes like obsessive or not unproductive, or a hindrance. You know, when you start to value the drama over your actual everyday reality, when you start to neglect the things that you should be doing in favor of this drama. And we haven't spoken about like the other kind of problem, like, because with drama you're talking about, you know, adrenaline releasing, this idea of dopamine rushes because you're on the cutting edge of information. You know, you're at the front line of the news, and this makes you feel, well, it can make you feel, I don't always say it will, but you know, it can make you feel more secure in yourself in a way. So someone who feels insecure might have a vested interest in things like drama, because to them it's an advantage. It's cutting edge information as it's happening in real time, and puts them in front of other people, so they can become the, not necessarily like a spokesperson. What's the one, the person, the one in the know, the one with the knowledge. So a sort of not trying to, not like a pioneer either, but you get what I'm saying. Like if other people are in the dark, then they become reliant on the person who has the insight, what the up-to-date information, and it can help to orientate or navigate or direct. Obviously, like with this example of the fire, it'd be like, don't head to that area because the roads have been blocked, it's smoldering, go around. You know what to expect. Like if imagine what would happen if you heard there was a report of an incident like that. And by the by, as far as, in case you're wondering, no reports of injuries or fatalities or anything like that. It's just a block of flats. One of them caught fire. I think it spread to a rooftop, but it was contained. Is that the right word? It was under control pretty promptly, according to the, see, here, there I was looking for additional information, the gossip, the drama. From what I gather from the news report, it was something like 10 fire engines, 70 firefighters, and fire engines being brought in from other districts. So doesn't sound like a small fire, but it doesn't sound like a complete inferno either. I don't know. That's as far as I was interested in knowing. So yeah. So drama has its the excitement factor. It has mystery as well, because it's like, ooh, what's going to happen? Ooh, what if this? What if that? So it's an emotional ride, roller coaster, with its highs and lows, and it could be a little bit like a sort of puzzle in a way. Like, if this happens, will that happen? And like, again, you see these kind of features being embedded in TV shows. Friends, the old TV show Friends comes to mind. Like, will he date her? Won't he date her? Oh, there's a love triangle. Oh my God, how is that going to work out? So, and that is playing with ideas and scenarios and simulations, which can bring in other kind of practices. Like it can start to question things like your own moral code. Is it right if so and so dates that person, or is that counted as cheating? So, and again, this kind of shapes culture as well, because whether or not it's normalized, accepted, perhaps elements of this is how like woke and feminism have gotten to where they are, or how it's derived to the point where it's at, is by running simulations in the machine that is drama, and spitting out outputs which in their mind makes sense, but when it enters reality, there is a clash. So the holodeck that is drama can be a place where you could play around with with ideas and your morals, your ethics, your beliefs. You can suspend some of these things temporarily while you explore other options. And in that sense, in a kind of theatrical setting like for TV, then I suppose you could say it's fairly, excuse me, I got the hiccups. You could say it's kind of safe. It's okay to play around with these things, but this is where it becomes problematic when it leaves that place and lands in reality town. So being a simulation, you could also, so along with playing with these ideas, you could even play around with aspects of your identity. You could role. You hear people say, "Oh, devil's advocate," for example. Like if I was playing the devil's advocate here, what about this? So that means, therefore, like in a drama setting, let's say you're hearing news in the community about something going on. If you're more into like typecasting people, like archetypes and things like that, you might recognize roles being allocated. Oh, this person is playing the devil's advocate. Oh, this person's playing the judge. Oh, this one is the protagonist, and this one's the antagonist, and this is the victim. This is the savior. This is the thief. This is the betrayer. This is the aggressor. This is the helpless lamb. This is the damsel in distress. So you fall into stereotyping as a kind of shortcut way of identifying who you're dealing with. Now, if we were to throw in the narcissistic kind of element into this, then the narcissist would assign these roles. You don't really get a say in what role you play, which is why you should always remember when dealing with a narcissist, it's never personal. They're dealing with they're dealing with a introject that has the shape of you, that has the contours of the appearance of you, but it's not you. It's like shadow boxing. It's their own. They're basically performing for themselves. I'm oversimplifying all of that. Hey, Johnny Midnight. Hey, CJ. But the point I'm trying to make is that the narcissist, because for the narcissist, they are the director, the audience, they are the one and only, they are the cast, the performing cast and support cast as well. Well, I mean, they try to outsource the support cast, but it's they control the strings, so they're extensions of the narcissist essentially. So this is why it's not personal. It really has nothing to do with you. It's just that they're using your likeness, they're using your silhouette to make the performance, this opera, this drama, this opera, this stage show more realistic. So the narcissist lacks that. They're detached from reality, so they lack that ability to differentiate between like reality and drama. So if the narcissist is assigning these roles as support cast, they are also assigning a role for themselves. Usually, the hero or the powerful one, maybe the something of high status, something to reflect their grandiosity. So they're the teacher, maybe they're the ruler, they're the boss, they're the one in charge, they're the hero. Um, this doesn't exclude the victim. They can be the victim, but the victim slash what the victim who rises up like the phoenix kind of thing. So there's a story arc for the narcissist. They're not going to give themselves a mediocre kind of role. They are the central character to this drama, and they would not recognize it as a drama. To them, this is, well, it's an alternative reality, but it's the reality that they're going to it's the dimension that they're going to um for all intents purposes define as reality. So narcissism, in a way, it can be described as a delusion, this false belief that how they see the world is actually in fact, in air quotes, fact, their idea of fact, uh, the reality of the situation, the reality of the world, and what they see, what we would say realistically is what they see in terms of what we see realistically. They would say is wrong in some, like, we got the wrong idea. We're not seeing things how they see it. We're dumb because, and as a result, this means that we're dumb, we're blind, we're narrow-minded, we're sheep, we're whatever, low IQ kind of thing. And in turn, even more reason why those in this place of objective reality shouldn't be taken seriously, and we should all really listen to the narcissist, because the narcissist knows what's what, and is at the center of all of it. So obviously this doesn't bode very well, because there's a clash here. There's there's a conflict. So how do you tell whose reality is true then, kind of thing? So it becomes a bit vague, and which is a somewhat deliberate intention of a narcissist to make it obscure, to make it hard to tell what the truth is, to dilute like the narcissistic truth is my truth. Well, we can all have my truth, that's all well and good, but it's not really the actual truth. It's your opinion, it's your set of beliefs, it's your perspective. So my truth is a poorly coined term, but it's because of that ambiguity that is coined in such a way. It gives the narcissist wiggle room, so they can move the goalposts. They can update their truth, however, on the fly, however they want. So in effect, they can augmentate reality to their liking as they please. And as we should know, that's not how it works in the real world. So when the rubber meets the road and fantasy starts to collide with reality, that friction takes place. You might be inclined to try to bring this to their attention. So you try to bring things touching base, you bring it back down to earth again, at which point you're told something like you're overreacting to how I'm behaving, or you're too sensitive, which is sort of like saying that you're getting so uh, you've you've been in this drama game too long that you're beginning to understand how it works, and because of that, you can sort of unpack, you can dismantle it. So that's a problem, and that's the reason why you're getting upset. Is because you're taking this silliness way too seriously. You're applying the internal logic of the narcissist in its literal sense, which is a no. You shouldn't be doing that. Um, so this means, you know, you're not supposed to scrutinize the narcissist, because this brings up inconsistencies, this brings up the errors, this brings up the hypocrisies and contradictions, and and you can see how furthermore that this illustrates how the narcissist isn't concerned about the actual intricacies of what is being. The words don't matter. It's the stage show performance. It's the visuals, the appearance, the image. So this is why they can chop and change. Their roles are not consistent. They're not concrete. They can switch out. They could one minute be the victim, and then next be the hero, and not really be concerned with the contradiction that everyone else sees, because the criteria of victim and hero, or how you describe it, isn't really what matters here. It's that they both centralize the narcissist as the focus of attention. That is the overarching storyline, in a way, that the narcissist is concerned about. So and they lack the awareness to really notice this happening. So continuously they make these blunders. Other people can see it. The narcissist loses credibility. But this becomes it's a whole another chapter of discussion, because your criticisms becomes proof that they are in the right and that you are in the wrong, because now you're speaking from a point of jealousy, perhaps, or from a point of vindictiveness. You don't like the successes. You don't like that the narcissist has it all together, is getting the attention, is getting the praise, getting the recognition, or whatever it is. So you're going to nitpick and twist things round to undermine, because from their point of view, it has to be kind of underhanded. You're playing dirty here, so this is why they say basically there is no, like, if you try to debate and ask, there's no point to it, because the two of you are on you're operating in two different. It's like you got a Windows computer and a Macintosh computer. They're incompatible. So you're both working from a different frameworks. But be that as it may, the aspect of drama itself is still tantalizing. It still sucks you in, and narcissism being a cluster B, also known as the dramatic cluster. So it's not really an accident that they're dramatic. There is, like, conscious or not, there is a recognition that drama becomes a linchpin in attaining supply. I don't want to use the word magnetism, but that kind of drama sucks you in. There is an attraction to it. When you go to an auditorium or a theater, where is your attention focused? It is focused on the stage. So the stage itself, the drama stage, is the arena It becomes the environment for which supply can be extracted. So because it's directing your attention, you become like it's like you become overwhelmed. Is it not necessarily? Yeah, I mean you become overwhelmed, but you become neglectful or complacent in other areas. So your vigilance, like because you're like if you're watching a movie, you're engrossed. You know, you teleport yourself if it's a good movie. That is, you know, like you're actually you feel as though you're in the movie. The world itself outside time stops existing. So you have no idea if you really are, you know, enjoying, especially if you enjoy the movie. Name me your favorite movie, kind of thing. It happens to everyone. You know, don't lie to me. Um, you enjoy your movie. You're you know you're devouring the popcorn. Time you've forgotten about time. You have no idea what's happening outside the cinema, and so there's a how's another way? Absent-mindedness, maybe. Um, you're not watching your back. You're not watching the peripheral vision of things. And this is where see if you notice the narcissist work they subvert, they go around, they don't really go directly head on. Some might say they're cowardly because of this. They're not very brutish usually, so they're sneaky. So they like a con artist, they get you focused on one hand while the other hand is pinching your pocket. Now so drama can be thought of, we're describing it as like a stage show. You can also think of it, if this is the narcissist's world, this is their worldview, this is their landscape. And as a result, as we can see how they shuffle things around to suit their feelings on the fly, this environment, how they is how they craft their narrative, but also situate their narrative to make sense to them. So from the audience perspective, not that it should matter for a narcissist, but it can be very confusing, it can be very inconsistent. But to the narcissist who is arranging everything, oh, it makes perfect sense. You dumb fool, you know, why can't you see like they can? So there's no like narcissism has this perfectionistic kind of aspect to it. So there's no, because also like if there was something awry, this would infer that they made a mistake. Narcissists never make a mistake. They're always right, even when they're wrong. So their narrative is, in their mind, airtight. There's nothing wrong with it, even though there are gaping holes. And they can't, and as a result, because of this absolute level of control of this environment, it means that they feel safe and secure. So they feel confident when they're in control of the drama. Narcissists feel so narcissists will instigate. If you might have heard this before, where like if there is peace and tranquility or whatever, harmony, then a narcissist will stir things up with some drama, because they feel safer with chaos, because they control the chaos. And in a kind of inversion, to us this is like insanity. Like how can you feel like most people don't like chaos? We prefer order and structure, but that is a problem for a narcissist because order and structure bring with it boundaries and limitations, restrictions. They can't shuffle things in reality. So reality is a threat. So reality is not a safe place. They escape onto the stage where they produce chaos that they can control, which makes them feel safer and puts everyone else at a disadvantage. So you can see how advantageous in this sense drama is for narcissistic people. Borderlines, in much the same way, will have it's slightly different, but they have this kind of movie. The way they view life is like a movie. Like the narcissist creates a story, but the borderline lives within the story. But for both of them, reality is peril, is risky stuff. So they escape one way or another. Then for the narcissist, they escape into the grandiosity and ego inflation. This provides them protection. Like you've got to remember, there's functionality. They're not just grandiose because it's fun, or they don't have entitlement because, oh, why not? There's functionality. There is reasoning. Bizarrely, it's like that which is almost like chaos. How can I have reasoning? But c'est la vie, I suppose. Anyway, and for the borderline, they try to escape being themselves. They try to escape via enmeshment. So either way, both the narcissist and the borderline are trying to escape danger in that sense. For the borderline, the danger of being vulnerable, of being who they are themselves. They don't like who they are. They feel void. They're not sure who they are. They're fragmented sense of self. And for the narcissist, it's a false self. So they're escaping into a idolized version, an exaggerated, unrealistic version of what they think they want to be. But this way of deconstructing and reconstructing reality is where we get magical thinking from. So all I'm doing here is basically connect some of these things, some of these concepts and ideas that you've probably already heard about before. I'm just putting them together here. So it's not accidental. These aren't just buzzwords necessarily. Like people say projecting. Oh, you're projecting. It's not for no reason. It serves a function. In terms of the narcissist, is to purify. Usually, seldom is it a singular reasoning behind what narcissists do. They want a return investment on whatever actions they're taking. They like the idea of having like a double bind, for instance. So there are these concepts are interconnected. They buttress one another, which is another reason why it's so difficult to undo this mess. Some of you people will talk, and I hear it all the time. You don't say it explicitly, but I can sense this kind of desire of like, can they be changed? Can we control the narcissist in some way, maybe with punitive measures? Is there hope? What can we do about them? It's the same kind of thing of, it's this theme of trying, like I've heard a phrase that's been said, you cannot control that which is uncontrollable. and by definition, narcissism is that which is uncontrollable. You know, they're defiant in that sense. So it can almost be a kind of funny little um, philosophical argument of like who really is air quote, the crazy one, because you know the narcissist isn't really like narcissism has already broken the laws of physics in a way. They have already exited reality, but there you are trying to bend reality and still remain a non-narcissist sort of thing, if that makes sense. You know, like the only way you're going to be able to force a narcissist is, this is why they say like the only way you can really beat a narcissist is by by being a greater narcissist than they are. So don't do it. Just leave them to their safe space. But yeah, that's quite a rant about drama. So in terms of life application, just be, I suppose, mindful. You know what I was supposed to put? There's supposed to be a banner up here. And it would have saved me. Just randomly talking about drama. Yeah, Johnny Midnight saying, "I am the wizard." No, I'm just Billy. Nah. I haven't got the beard. What? Like the time you told me to talk about, told me to put that teddy bear when I was talking to that guy about audio gear. I don't know. If you say so, I sound like I'm gaslighting you now. Maybe you could jog my memory. At the time you told me to put that teddy bear, maybe it's contextualized to what I was saying at the time. But yeah, so now, I said drama karma. So the karma side of things, so I suppose we could now look at, yeah, I mean, in terms of narcissism, they love the idea of karma. So you never, so they say, the greatest victim is the narcissist. You will not find a victim greater than he or they. And I can agree with that. So the narcissist is always hard done by. They're the biggest victim. The world is against them. This isn't just like bad luck. No, this is conspiracy level. People have plotted. People have triangulated the narcissist. You'll see a lot of. This is going to have to be a separate video or conversation about. It's like the narcissistic Uno Reverso card, where the narcissist will try to act as if they are the victim. So they'll call you the narcissist. They're the victim. So suddenly now, the narcissist is being is the scapegoat. The narcissist is being triangulated, smear campaigned against. Is a victim of Darvo, deny, accuse, victim, and abuser, offender. Basically, switch positions. I call this the exchange. So that they want to swap places, with body swap, basically. So they become the victim, you become the abuser, and the narcissist will talk. They will moonlight as a victim. They'll pick up the terminology, they'll look up and hear about these words and descriptions, and they'll try to rewrite history, and hope it sticks. But yeah, so the narcissist is the biggest victim, and not only is everything against them, but it's against them. Everyone's bullying the narcissist because of how unique and wonderful and great the narcissist. Like, people don't recognize the narcissist, they don't understand the narcissist. They are threatened by the might and prowess and potential, if only, so they can never be satisfied. You can give them chances. You can say, okay, you want to be in the spotlight, all right, let's give you attention. You want some you need money, you need job opportunity, all right, we've got you a job lined up, we've got you some money. Oh, you need this, okay, we'll help you out. And it's never enough. So that's a topic about self-inflicted harm, because if they were to actually do well, one, that would be a bit of an insult to their ego, because it means that they are a charity case. They can't be the supreme magnificent one if people have had to help them out. So there's a kind of artistic flair to this, because they're not going to they're not going to ascend of their own merit, of their own meritocracy. They're not going to do the hard work. They're lazy buggers. They're going to cut corners. But at the same time, it can't be so obvious that they've had a helping hand, or people have given in to the tyrannical demands and placated and just like, fine, you can have it, whatever, shut up, leave me alone. So they need that kind of that conflict, that challenge. Anyway, I digress. What was I saying? Something about karma. So they're the biggest victim in all this stuff, right? And it's not ever it's not small stuff. This is the universe is conspiring. This is extremist. I mean, it doesn't really, it might not start off extreme, but let them, like, blow after blow, injury after injury, as supply dwindles and they become more and more desperate, they become more frantic and erratic, and the stakes increase. So in the beginning, eons ago, in a galaxy far, far away, they might have started off just whining about it's not fair and pout a little, but things escalate over time. They develop this. They're on stage, right? So that they're trying to garner attention. So the production show has to escalate. Like, this is reflective in TV shows. Things become more ludicrous, and before you know it, alien zombies have been sent here from another dimension, because thou, oh great narcissist, is a threat to the fabrics of multidimensional universes from past, present, and future. The God complex, pretty much. So so the narcissist feels they are victimized. They feel there is an injustice in the fabric of the universe, and the narcissist, as a result, their story arc, I've actually got an article written. It's a long one, so this will have to be that'll have to be for another time. But the narcissist is on a crusade, and thinking about that kind of phrasing, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with what I wrote about. But the narcissist is on a crusade to set the record straight, to right the wrongs of cosmology, of time and space, of history. You know, everyone is wrong about the narcissist. Everyone doesn't recognize the narcissist for who they truly are, and all this sort of stuff. So the narcissist is out to set the record straight, get themselves justice, revenge. They want to be vindicated. They want to be recognized. They want to be able to stand proud. You know, all that good stuff. Shine. They want to be polished. They want to polish a turd and shine bright. And so the idea of karma is very appealing to them. And not only is it like karma in the sense of, I will let fate be the judge, or you've got the judge, jury, and execute. Who's the one that kind of who puts action into action? Like they don't look at karma as its own separate sort of agent. The narcissist is in control of karma, as if like, I shall send my spirit of karma, or whatever, you know, this embodiment of karma. I shall send forth this karma to come and get you. So watch your back, live in fear, because one day my angel of death is going to come and reap what you sow. So you better be sorry. It's not too late to apologize and kiss my toes. So they take ownership of karma, which is kind of funny, because there they are, karma's going to come and get them, but it never really does. And if anything, if you look at the, you know, like objective kind of facts, it's like, well, who's the one suffering the most here? It tends to be the narcissist. You know, their life kind of goes down the pan, kind of spirals down the toilet, kind of gets worse. They burn bridge, you know, the narcissistic collapse. Look into it if you to say, you know, say me talking about it. You don't hear about narcissists actually turning over a page in the book, you know, turn over a new leaf. You don't hear about narcissists having a positive life, you know, dying with a pleasant smile, and life was wonderful. I enjoy, you know, it's usually F this mofo, it's all bitter and resentment, you know. The grumpy old git archetype, where and on the flip side, you hear about survivors who, if they have done the work of actually, you know, wanting to recover and heal and all this stuff, it's a bit corny. I don't like saying it, but you know, you survive, you go on to thrive, that kind of thing. So life is a lot better. That is subjective and perspective based, but whatever. So yeah, so the narcissist, so it's almost like the duality of the cluster B disorders is there is a crusade for karma. Karma is their word for being cured, in a sense. Whereas everyone else doesn't really, I don't really think of karma, you know. the more spiritual minded people, I suppose, might say it. But I'm talking about it anyway from the narcissistic framework. All right, Johnny is talking about arbiter. So Johnny says, I was talking about one of my friends who totally rambles on. Uh-oh. Yes, I know I am. I've been out tonight drinking because it was my one night in 12 years, man. I'm gonna make the most of it. So yeah, and doesn't register anything I say. Huh? What did you say? You said just put a teddy bear in your chair and go do something else. Oh, yeah. I mean, what are you trying to say to me? I got puppets. I could do a improv Muppet show. Would you like that? Billy with his guest. I got a guest co-host. Welcome onto the platform. I don't know. I will go insane. I already feel like I'm talking to myself half the time. There's only 3 of you guys watching, so I appreciate the numbers might be small, but quality, not quantity. Yeah, it's fine. And I recognize, yes, I've been rambling on, and there's a lot to follow. So if you've been sticking through what's been said, you did better than I could. Which is why I appreciate it's you having to listen to me rather than me having to listen to me, because I probably would have zoned out or been like, what the hell? But I've tried to keep it on focus with drama and karma as part of this touching base. It was supposed to be just a general catch up, really, just saying what's been happening. But then I thought about it. I was like, well, whatever drama that's been going on in my life, I don't think anyone would particularly care about, So unless I'm commenting on drama that I'm seeing, like generally in community spaces, but then that's kind of like poop stir. That's like stirring the pot. That's kind of making the drama worse. And I don't really think. Hopefully, there isn't much drama going on. From what I gather, looking around, not much is going on, which in my book is a good thing. So hopefully people, I wish the best for people. I hope they're either getting on with life or they're just chilling out, or there's another sort of expression basically of like, you need to, like, people think of becoming exhausted as a bad thing. But becoming exhausted with things like drama in this sense is being tired of it, is a good thing, because then you can kind of like lay it down to rest, like yada yada yada. So I appreciate people, that's what I was getting with my channel. I could talk, I talk about narcissism all the time, until even I'm sick of talking about it. So I didn't really feel the need to, or the pressure, the urgency to be as regular, well, not that I was regular, but to be as prominent, or whatever you want to say, to be as vocal, to do, like, basically to be floating around the interwebs. So I just get on with my own stuff, like many of you know, I've got a kid. The kid is at that sort of age Like I get enough high school playground drama. Jesus Christ, the playground drama. The kids, they're driving me mad. Oh, Dad, what is it, you little demon from hell? Oh, so and so said blah 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 blah. Shouldn't you be in bed? Oh God. But it's stuff like that. Is that funny thing though, isn't it? Like stuff like that kind of adds color to, you know, part of life. But yeah, that's the extent of my drama. If anyone wants to know, it's just playground stuff, really. And I still write my little articles. I'm still on that forum and helping out individuals here and there. Maybe not as much. The weather's getting better. Blah blah blah. I don't know. It's watching lots of anime. You know, I've got some projects, some personal projects, like I enjoy, like working on. I talk about the car. I was thinking about doing a car channel because I do a lot of stuff with the car. I've got a lot of video clips, and this summer I was thinking of changing the vinyl wrapping on it. However, because of these winter weather we've had a lot of potholes, sort of blitzkrieg the road surface, and it's made me realize that my suspension isn't really up to par. You know, it is an old vehicle, so these components are probably like due replacing. So I am now thinking about changing the shocks, the springs, anti-roll bar, the drop links, the bushes. When I had the MOT, like it passed with no advisories, but the garage guy said, yeah, I suppose the next thing you might want to mess around with are like the tie rods. So it's basically making me think of refreshing the entire front suspension. Heck, why not? So I got that, and then I've got a new 3D printer, a fancy one that I'm trying to budget in, which is a bit difficult with how things are currently. Yikes. So I don't know. Johnny, what are you saying? No, not you, Billy. I was referring to, it was long ago in the chats. Okay. All right. I deny everything, Your Honor. I was dead at the time. So we might as well close it up here. Otherwise, it's just going to be awkward silence. You know, I just hope it's nice seeing you guys here. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here and spending time with me. And I hope everyone is doing all right or doing well. I suppose if there's anything maybe on people's minds or concerning, they're more than welcome to message me, and I'll be of assistance where possible. If you got some topic you want explored, you can drop a comment, like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff, please. I'd appreciate that. Get me back up to 200 subs. I don't know why, but it's a nice round number. And I hope to be able to get back. I don't know, like I suppose there's another update. I've been more tired these days. You know, I'm like, oh, I want to go to bed, getting my earlier night sleep. These late nights, they're destroying me. I think what it is because with the previous school, we could just walk there. But with this school, I have to drive, and I do like driving, but it's a 4-way, like, you know, go there, come back in the morning, and then go there and come back again in the afternoon. So there's a lot of backwards and forwards on crappy roads and road rage incidents. You know how many dumb people there are on the roads? But so yeah, so I've been more, maybe, and also maybe because I'm getting older, you know, I'm getting more. I get tired. I need my little afternoon naps. Yeah, so but hopefully I can maybe like either produce some videos, you know, pre-record some videos, and I got a backlog, Jesus, or even do some streams. Maybe get some co-hosts. Would anyone like to, not right now, but maybe in the future, would anyone like to do a joint stream, like come on here and talk stuff? If you do, either send me a message or drop it in the comments. But we'll leave it there. So thank you very much. Have a good evening, and hope to see you all again soon. Ciao.